Hello, everybody. One of the babies there. And I saw the other baby running this way. So the other baby's there, and the Agita's there. Now, I'm still here, obviously. It's the next day, and I knew the exact time. It's actually 12 past 11 now. But a minute ago, it was 11:11. And that's when I turned on my phone and I saw the time. I've had this thing lately where, during one of my binges, I think that was last year, but one of the junkies that I was partying with, at 11:11, this person said to me, "We're very, very, very out of it," but I remember that. And this person said to me, "Oh, it's 11:11, make a wish." And I go, "What?" And she goes, "Oh, there's this thing where you make..." And 11 has always been a powerful number for me. It's a master number in James Joyce's Finnegans Wake. It's the number of regeneration. The number of the fall for him was 3211, because 32 was the number of the speed of gravity. They measured it as 32 feet per second per second. Probably don't do that anymore. But back then, that's how they measured gravity. And so that was the number of the fall. But 11 was the number of, regeneration, or, new starts, new decades begin with 11, And also 11, two ones, that's one of the master numbers. 11 in numerology, 11 and 22 are numbers that you don't reduce. Otherwise, you keep, if you add 3 and you got 3 and 2, you add them up to 5, and that's the final number. That's in numerology. But with the master numbers, 11, 22, I think 33, the rest of those, you don't add them. It does, so 11 doesn't become 2, and 22 doesn't become 4. So anyway, enough of that. But I don't think I was able to talk about all that when he was in that state. But this person said to me, "You're supposed to make a wish at 11:11, and but the thing is, you can't tell anyone. If you tell anyone what the wish is, it won't come true. And the other thing is, it can't be about, it can be about anything. It can be about yourself. It can be about other people." So I'm like, I kind of on and off, and I was kind of on and off. But then lately, and I've been seeing a lot of, I happen to turn on my phone, it's 11:11. It's like every time I turn on my phone, it's either 11 in the morning or night, So just at that moment. So I've been seeing a lot of 11:11s, Yeah, but I'm not, that's the whole thing with superstition and with this other stuff and with, beliefs and with, mysticism. And I didn't want to make wishes because I'm like going, look, if I'm going to get out of this, I'm going to get out of this myself, I'm not asking for help. I'm not like that's one of the reasons. Another reason I hate with a passion the 12-steppers so much, because when they end up, and I understand the position because I'm in that position, desperation, but when you're desperate, to tell people your only fucking way out is because you're such a weak piece of shit that the only way out is to ask the higher power. There's no other way you're getting out of this, You're so weak. You're such a junkie. You will always be a junkie. Even if you've been clean for 25 years. I've been to meetings where people go, "I haven't gambled or I haven't done drugs in 25 years, but my name is whatever, and I am a compulsive gambler. I haven't gambled in 25 years, but I'm a compulsive gambler. I'm a narcotics addict, because I will always be one. I'm a piece of shit, and I always will be one. It's only coming to these meetings and our cult and, the higher power that is keeping me, because I keep praying to the higher power because I'm such a piece of shit. I keep asking the higher power to take away my cravings, and that's how I make it. I'm like, fuck you, just fuck you, I've been like that for some, and that's also why the whole thing with my analyst. My poor analyst, he's not a bad analyst, but the whole thing was, and he was like, when I brought it up later, years later, he's like, I'm not an idiot. I wasn't telling you. I know that 12 steps wouldn't be a good fit for you. But he read out the frickin' steps to me. I mean, knowing how I feel, and this, he read out the 12 steps to me in a he had, just the fact he has that thing in his office, back when he had a real office. Just so he had the Bible. It is a Bible. It's not a handbook. It's a Bible. He had their Bible in his office, and he read out the steps to me, knowing me, having known me already for like 20 years at that point. Then that's not, I should have just walked out of his office then and there and not come back, because it was a sign that it wasn't working and it wouldn't work. That was not the approach. And he did give me the whole spiel. There's 12, there's 3 different groups, and, some people, law of thirds. So some people, they go to 12 steps of self-help and they buy into it and it works for them and they turn into, whatever, cult members, and they love it, and it keeps them clean, and it becomes their addiction. And he didn't put in that words; that's actually my words. But he said the way that those people would say it, that it works for them. I think that's what he said. It works for them. He said 1/3, the next third, the meetings, the framework, and having the sponsor, and when you have the cravings, you can go talk to someone, and you can go not be by yourself. That works for them, but the rest of it, the exact 12 steps and the higher power stuff, it doesn't work for them. But they don't buy into it. They'll pay lip service to it in the meetings, but they won't actually buy it. And then there's a third. It just doesn't work for them. I'm beyond that third because I'm the 1/4 or the whatever percentage that finds that to be far, far, far worse than the addiction. And I said that after an NA meeting that I went to, and the guy told me at the break, that was years ago too, and he said, if you don't chant and pray and come to 3 meetings a day for the next 3 months, you are going to die, And my response, and I didn't say that to him, I just walked out, but my response was, and I've written it and I told other people, my response was, if that's the only choice, if there's 2 choices, if it's, become a chanting, praying zombie or death, I'll choose death every time, even though it won't be good for my kids, and my friends, they're kind of upset. But other than that, if those are the only 2 choices, I'm still alive. That was 6-7 years ago. I'm still alive. I got very, very, very close, but I'm still at the point where if it is if it's a choice of become a born again, which is basically what those people are, if it's the choice of becoming a born again and saying that the only way out of this is to chant and pray and ask the higher power to take away my cravings or death, I'll choose death. I'll just make arrangements for people, for my kids to be rehomed, but as awful as that will be for them. But I would do that because that's how strongly I feel about this, So, just all of that was just to say that at 11:11, I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to make a wish to a whatever higher power, different power, whatever it is, universe. I'm not going to ask the universe. I don't do that. That's not my style, I'm not going to ask the universe to help me, go clear, but I just think it's interesting that I keep seeing the 11:11s, So when I get an 11:11, I just think about it, and I just go, okay, well, there we are, I'm not asking for help, but but I know what I need to do, and I'm going to do it. I will do it or I won't do it, but I'm not asking for help. So that's my thing at 11:11s, and I just had one. Now it's like 8 minutes ago because I've been talking for 7 minutes. So, and if I'm at 11:11 and the kids are here at home and I'm at home and I love it, just like, a few minutes ago, when I get the 11:11, I just talk to the kids. I just go, hey kids, 11:11, I'm going to do everything I can. I'm no promises, because, I'm doing a very powerful thing. And, junkies don't usually keep promises. But so I cannot promise you that I will stay clean. I cannot, as much as horrific. And I can't even begin to describe, and I'm not in this forum anyway, how horrific those 4 days were, the worst nightmares imaginable, the lowest, most unspeakable horrors, the lowest levels of Dante's hell, That's how bad it was. But, so right now, the cravings are kind of dormant. Right now, I don't even want to go back to that, but in a few weeks, cravings may will. Let's not say we may. We'll probably be back, But anyway, so we'll deal with that when we get to it. For now, the goal is just to stay clean and to kind of get on the health thing, eating and, taking in fluids, making sure the body isn't damaged, checking on the slight, chest pains, looking after the kids, looking after myself, gradually coming back, So that's, one step at a time. And the first step has been sleeping. So I posted this thing yesterday, or I think around noon. And then around 2, I went to sleep. And I woke up at about 2 a.m. And I fed the kids, of course, and I went and I had something very light with myself, and I think I took my diabetes meds. And then I woke up at about 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and I replied to my very worried out-of-province friend, who is a cat rescuer. And, a very empathic person, So she was experiencing extreme anxiety, which is, which I kind of realized that she would. But so I emailed her going, look, you can dial it down from extreme anxiety to high anxiety. So it's a little better, So then I ate, and it was kind of weird too. The way that happened was that I had some leftover biryani from Saturday, from one of the times I ate over the 4 days, some takeout biryani before in the middle of binges. So I had some leftover biryani, and I had some frozen chicken pies, Schneider's, in the freezer. So I heated them up, and I didn't really feel hungry. And I started eating, and I ate like I was ravenous. I was eating up the biryani and the chicken pie as if I hadn't eaten in a day. Sort of true. Halfway through, and there's only a little bit. There's like I'll put a picture in here. There was only a little bit, like of biryani, and there was one small pie. After eating half the biryani, half the pie, my body just said, "Stop, enough." Can't eat anymore. So I'm like going, okay. So as I said to my friend, I'm going to trust this body that I almost destroyed. It says stop, I'll stop. It says eat, I'll eat. So and then I took my diabetes meds. As I told you before, I had heard of someone who died due to diabetes, who was an addict and didn't take the metformin properly. Well, I think this person was also a daily user of something a lot strong. My stuff was pretty strong too, but was a daily user. And as my friend said, she's really worried about my becoming a daily user because at this age, she goes, you won't last. And not only that, I firmly believe the next binge will be the last one. Now, which does not mean that I'm not going to have the cravings again. But still, I'm not going to. I'm not going to. I'm not going to ask any higher power, for help. I'm not going to do that whole 12-step approach. And my poor analyst, he was a good analyst. The first analyst I had was a much worse analyst. Was a bad analyst. It was not a good fit for me. But in some ways, she'd have been better for me now because she was more into the mystical stuff, and she was anti 12-step. And she had told me way back then that, she doesn't believe in the 12 steps, and she's going, I wouldn't tell you to go to 12 steps and chant and pray and all that shit, She says those people, they're like putting a Band-Aid on a very, very open, gash of a wound, and there's infection, there's bad infection, and they're putting a Band-Aid on it. And she says, we're going to do it. We're going to do it internally. We're going to stop. We're going to stop the wound from inside. We're going to clear the infection. Unfortunately, her way didn't work for me because there was just too much emphasis on the spiritual and the mystical at that time. And it was like sit on the floor and drink herbal tea during the session, and not allowed to smoke for I smoked then, cigarettes, but not allowed to smoke for 12 hours before the session, and stuff like that. It was like, and I think it might have been some Japanese gong music playing in the back. No, sorry, that was not my speed, But and then we got caught up in transference, counter-transfers, which I think also happened with this analyst, but took 30 years to get there. So this analyst was a better fit at the time, But, at this point, I think I could have used one of my more slightly mystical ones, However, I'm not, my friend said, isn't my out of province, maybe find another analyst or something? And, I've thought about it, and at this point, it's not an analyst. It's not going to work, I would be, I would be more, what would work probably for me more. And again, you go to spiritual thing, you got the people with the, obviously not the 12 steps, obviously not any traditional Buddhist approach, not going to like a monastery thing. I even tried a shaman. Aboriginal. No, I was thinking first persons. First persons, or I think indigenous persons. Shaman a couple of years ago, 3-4 years ago, through a friend, turned out to be a freaking Jungian. He's talking to me about Jung and archetypes, and I go, look, I get the shit from my analyst, I don't need that from you, And then he tells me stuff about like how your problems are because of past life, which I don't completely discount. But he goes, these issues are for, and the stuff with your father, it's from past life issues. In a previous life, your father was your son back in the Middle Ages, and I banished him apparently, to a village, and he didn't like that. I think he was a supposedly illegitimate son, and I told that to my father, and he goes, "How dare that guy call me a bastard?" The party kind of focused on more than on the past life thing. And then I think in another life we were brothers and we used to fight a lot. So where we've been resolving apparently things. But now, we just talk once a week on the phone and we don't have any other really contact and I don't see them. So that's sort of resolved for this life, So let's just hope that so no, so the only possibility could have been some kind of not spiritual, but you got a spiritual, they got the frameworks, and I'm not a framework person. I'm a make your own path in the dark forest person. So I'm making my own path. And then my latest analyst, and this is the last straw. This is what did it. After he said this, I fired him, But and I didn't want to talk about it. There's nothing to talk about. I'd already put up with a lot of the stuff that I didn't work for me over the last few years. But this last thing, when he said to me, and he thought he was being clever, I'm sitting on the ego chair there, and he goes, even Campbell, and he's sort of humoring me because I kind of, using Campbell's approach of the heroic journey and stuff. So he goes, well, Campbell, and then he's been going, and he was going, it was after a binge, and he goes, it's so dangerous. It's so dangerous. And, there's all this stuff is happening and, it's very, very dangerous. And then he goes, even Campbell says you have to have a path, And he goes, and I said, excuse me, Mr. Analyst, I'm forging my own path. And he goes, no. He said, you can look back and there are steps, but that's not a path. And it took all my control not to just tell him to fuck off then and there. And that was it. And that was because of 30 years of seeing him. That was the end of it, I said, what the fuck do you think I'm doing? I'm creating my own path. It's very rough in the dark forest, I'm taking one step after the other. And I'm trying to avoid the minefields. But I have been brought here for a reason. There's a reason, so so just tell me that I'm just making steps and I'm not following up. I'm making my own path. He doesn't get that, It's very difficult. It's the toughest thing imaginable. He wants me to follow accepted paths, and that it's very, very dangerous and you must do this and you must do that and you must, and I'm like going, he would really, even though he doesn't come out and say it, he would really like me to do a 12-step type of thing, because but I think so. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I feel bad talking about this, but I don't think I owe him anything. Paid him for 30 years, and I'm not revealing I will never say his name or anything like that. And I'm not revealing anything confidential. So it's just things that led to the end of our analysis, and that why any established. This is, in a way, answering my friend's question. Can't you find another analyst? And I'm like going, that was the best analyst for me for 30 years, but any other analyst I find, or even shaman, or faith healer. Faith, no, it's not my style. I am puss in the dark forest, I got boots too, I find my own path or I die, I come back or I don't come back, and I'm kind of willing for it. I mean, that's, it's not good for my kids, I know. That's the real thing that has brought me back. My kids, my puss boots, my kids, and my friends. my friends, I don't see them very much. I keep saying that, but it's okay. This is the level of friendship that works for me now. I still, I see them like 2-3 times a year. One in province, out of province, I haven't seen in 20 years. But that's fine. You don't have to. I think other people have learned this too with the pandemic and stuff, You can have close friendships via, however, you know what? Zoom for the analysis didn't work. Ever since we switched to going to the office for those 27 years, that sort of worked, once a week, and, then afterwards going to eat and go for the dreams and all of that stuff. But the 3 years of Zoom, that was a waste of me sitting on that chair, waste of time and money, I regret that money because I could have put that into drugs, would have been a better spending. So that's what, so, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't watch these now. But as I said, even if he does, it's completely anonymous. And, I have no ill feelings towards him. And if I did, he would say that's transferred. So they have it's a complex. They have their explanations for everything, Everything's a complex. And it started to piss me off after a while, I do get it. I mean, the whole Jungian shadow anima, yeah, fine, And there's the negative element, there's this and there's that, and the dream approach. But I'd rather do this my own way, even if it kills me. Well, me. So anyway, look, last night I replied to my friend. And then I went back to sleep. So I ate that food. I went back to sleep. And I slept for another, 10 hours. And then I woke up. Yeah, sweeties. And I just fed the kids, and that was 11 a.m. I just fed the kids, And you know what I'm going to do? I don't even have any real groceries in the house. I get, what do we got here, we got some chips. We got that. I had one of those last night. It's not real chicken. It's like flavored. There's a lot of hot sauces, I think there's some chicken pies. You know what? There's corn. I don't know how stale it is. I may have to at some point go out for groceries. I don't feel like going out right now, so I'll see. I could order food, or I'll see what it said. I just want to eat, take medication, and then I think I'm going to go back to bed. And I'm going to post this. I'm going to post daily if I have to. You don't have to watch it. Like I said, you want to watch it, watch it. Don't want to watch it, don't watch it. Doing it really just for myself, And I get very, very few. I think the last one I had like 12 people, So really, the people I sent it to. So that's, well, no, actually I sent it to 5 people. So I think another 4 or 5 people stumbled on it accidentally and probably watched like 30 seconds and then went off. So, but if anybody's interested in a, personalized approach of, and may not be effective. It may work, it may not work, but I'm not doing this. Not doing it through any, paths. Any accepted paths. I'm just forging my own path. Which is very, very dangerous. Now you can call it just making wild steps, as my analyst did, and not really a path, but I'm making my own path, so he can go wherever. Yes, there is there may be some animosity now towards my analyst, and it may actually be, of course, the usual. It could be the transference and the something else and the complex and whatever. They've got an answer for everything, but that's not my. No, I do my. Even the why is not all that important. I do. I look at my dreams and the inner world, and I did have a dream last night of the house in which I grew up, the Milton house, which my analyst called a complex because it keeps, and I just go, yeah. It's complicated. It's not just a complex. It's complicated, So I'm like just going. No, I do my own dreams, and and my analyst. I mean, he did what he could. He's but the approach just wasn't working, and I'm not going back to any analyst, or shaman or whatever. Do this on my own, or don't do it. Bye for now, from the forest. And 2 baby, and I saw Agita running around here somewhere. I found her. She was. I think she went to hide somewhere in our room because I was looking everywhere because I was in 90 prof excited mood, and I was like, shouting. It's like just getting carried into the thing. You want to go to the solarium? Why do you want to go into there, sweetheart? Why? Anyway, you want to go in? There's just vacuums in there. Anyway, so from Agita and from both of the babies. So one baby there, and then the other baby there. And from myself, the most fucked up, the most non-path, nuttiest, craziest, fucked up professor in the entire fucking universe. Bye for now. You don't have to watch these. I'm doing them for myself. So, bye for now. If you've come this far, you've probably watched it. Bye for now. Hello, everybody. I've come out after all because I had to get my phone fixed. I'm having phone problems. I contacted my contractor. Anyway, you know what? Music's coming on, so I don't want to get blocked. So I'll talk when I get outside. But I'm having sushi lunch. Bye for now. Hello, everybody. I just left the... no, I didn't just leave. I left about 45 minutes ago. I left the sushi restaurant down there. The food was okay. People weren't all that friendly. But it was okay. I replied to my friend. I was replying to my friend email. And I came out here. And I just sat on the bench. And I was sitting here, one of these things, replying to my friend. And I was talking about, synchronicities and random shit. And every time I wanted to write does, my autocorrect kept going dies. And I go, does, and it goes dies. And then I put a lot of effort into it. And I wrote D-O, and I put a huge amount of effort into it. I got does, but the next time I tried to write does, it became dies. And it's all in the email. And I said to my friend, is this random shit, or is this like my unconscious, or is this something else? What's going on here? I'm doing all this, writing to my friend here. And a guy walking this way, wearing a backpack, maybe 20s, 30s, beard, don't think he was a street person, and he was dressed okay, and he's walking this way, and he says something to me. And he starts with, have a nice day, I hope this is a good day. And I said, yeah. And I'm just sitting here, and he goes, he says something, and I didn't hear. And I said, I didn't hear you. And he just waves at me, and he keeps walking. So I'm like, I wonder what he's trying to tell me. And then I'm sitting here concentrating on my phone, and another guy walks this way. And I think this was a street person. And he goes, and I didn't, I'm concentrating. He goes, excuse me. And I jumped, and I was startled. And he goes, no, I didn't mean just to scare you. And I said, well, you did. And he goes, do you have a cigarette? And I said, I don't smoke, unless I'm in a particular circumstance, a particular thing, dimension. And he goes, okay. And he keeps walking. So I go back to my phone. I'm here on my phone. I get another, excuse me, person walking this way, back, this direction. Same guy, first guy. And I got startled. And he says, no, he says, stay there. Don't be scared. He says, and he's just kind of walking this way. And then he stops for a second. He says, just stay. You don't have to come closer. And then he goes, and then he says something. He goes, don't be scared. He says, give it 10 days, you'll figure it out. And then he goes, breathe in the air. And he demonstrates. He goes, breathe in the air. And then he goes like this. He goes, look up at the sky, And he says, take in the sky, and you'll be okay. And then he just keeps walking. And I'm like going, as I said to my friend, is this random shit? Probably, but whatever. It's freaking me out a bit. This random shit is freaking me out a bit. Anyway, I gotta go try to get my phone fixed, which is why I'm out here. I'm having big problems with the phone. My contractor called. I'm supposed to go on Thursday to cut the grass. I think I'll be okay by then. I didn't want to come out, but because I kind of knew that, I'm in an odd state right now. But anyway, so my contractor called, and I couldn't hang up the phone. My phone is really messed up. I couldn't hang up the phone, and he was on the, he didn't hang up his, and I'm like going, look, I better fix this thing. So I came out, my phone guy is here, and I thought, if it's something small, I'll pay $20 and get it fixed. He's closed until August 22nd, so this is the time he chooses to take a vacation. So I'm like, okay, fine. I have my sushi lunch, which wasn't great. And then I'm sitting here just replying to my friend, and all this shit happens. Synchronicities or random shit, take your pick. And then Now I'm going to go to the Dixie Outlet Mall where I bought my puss boots, which I'm not wearing today, and there's a kudu thing. So I'll see if I can get my phone fixed. It should be under warranty. I pay the extra, per month. But then every time I've tried to claim something on warranty, they go, there's some loophole. They go, we don't cover that. We don't cover that. So let's see. Let's see what's wrong and if they'll cover it. Oh, wish me luck. Bye for now. And I will go home and edit and post this. I'm going to include this. As I said, it could go either way. You could see this shit as random shit. Or you could go, maybe the... a guy saying something to me that really seems to be for me, randomly, just through what I'm going through. I don't think that's random, but who knows? Anyway, bye for now. Now, maybe I'm being paranoid, but I'm walking along and I pass that person and she's staring at me. And I'm just walking along and then she turns around and it looks like, I don't know, looks like she's taking video footage of me, and I'm walking and she's taking video footage. And I'm like going, maybe I'm being paranoid. I'm just in that state. I'm like, why would someone take video footage of a stranger walking on the sidewalk? I'm not looking particularly dodgy. I've got I got my red shirt on and my Porsche hat. So you don't look like somebody who's like a druggie or something like that. I don't look like that. Or maybe she was just turned around to take a video of something else or to text. But why wouldn't she text walking that way? I'm just feeling very, very... Every little thing. Is it random shit? This is, is it something? Am I seeing something? Is it like a paranoia? That's what's happening. Bye for now. Bye for now. Hello everybody, I'm here at my favorite ice cream place in Mississauga. I've shown this before. Dairy Cream, not Queen. And the car's parked there. And after the taping on the bench and the sushi, I'm like going, before I go to Kudu, let me check, let me have ice cream. So I come here and there's a bee here, so the person at the other table has got up and moving. So I decided to have but the bee was on that table, it's not coming here. So I'm having, rather than my usual, chocolate dip cone, whatever thingy. I'm having a sundae, and it's the first sundae I've had in a long, long time. And the girl inside, she kind of talked about that shit. That's the bee. That's why the other person got up and moved. And shit. I might have to eat in the car. The other person. Okay, I'm back in the Dixie Outlet Mall with the people, with the human children and those little things. I think that's an elephant. Anyway, I gotta find the kudu booth. Hello everybody, I just bought a new phone. As usual, I think I have an insurance on it, but he said you have to do it online and then they mail it to you. In the end, he's gonna mail it to me anyway because he doesn't have the phone in stock. But the monthly is gonna be about the same. I gotta pay $280 because I owe on the last one, because I'm not paid off, it's that tab thingy. So it was good, but I started getting into, because he doesn't quite realize that I'm coming back and every little thing becomes a big thing, and the synchronicity is apparently everywhere and shit like that. So every little thing, and he gives me every single little thing becomes a problem, like the email address wasn't correct. It was my previous one from where I used to teach, and I said, I haven't worked there in like 12 years, And then he goes, no, then we got it, sir, we got the new one. And then I'm like going, has that been updated? And then, I don't know, it was just become a little bit, everything becomes a little bit of an issue when you're, But, and then I'm a little bit like, okay, can you transfer everything, do it now? He can't, because, there's no phone. One thing I had to tell you, there's a circus here. Not Circus du Soleil, it's some circus in this parking lot. And I just checked, they don't have animals, which is good. And he said it's sort of like Cirque du Soleil. I'm assuming it's not nearly as good because it's like only $40. And ringside is like another $10 or something. And it's sort of a no-name brand, it's like, and he goes, it's sort of like Cirque du Soleil. So it's in a parking lot for the Dixie Outlet Mall. So I don't think it's going to be too, fancy. But I don't know, might be something to do. $40, And that, the $200 or $300 extra for the phone, you don't want to know how much I spent over the last week. You don't want to know, So I don't want to know. So the 280 that's for a new phone, fine. Anyway, bye for now. Hello, everybody. I got home a little while ago. Agita was in the hall, and now Agita's here. And one of the babies is there and moving. And then the other baby's there. And I got back, I started some laundry. I replied to my friend out of province. Day one, clear. Synchronicities. I mean, I may be seeing, I discussed it with my friend in email, and I told her about that guy, the prophet guy, and she goes, it could be just random shit, or it could maybe not. And I go, just the timing, of all people, unsolicited, to say something to me, and twice. First time I didn't hear him, the second time on the way back, that very seems to be very appropriate to, I mean, it could work with anyone. It's like, in 10 days, you would, you'll figure things out, and that whole breathe in, look at the sky. I mean, it's pretty general, but still, to pick me of all people at that moment, I don't know. It's whatever, So we get, I came back, and then there was the whole phone thing. And they do, of course, try to sell you. Not a bad deal. So I just don't like this being mailed thing. I would have preferred him to just give me the new phone there, set it all up, and be done. Now it has to be mailed here, and then I have to take it back to him, and all of that stuff. The service is good. I mean, I was a little, because I'm still scattered, so I was a little whatever. But and of all days today, again, my computer phone guy is on vacation for another 2 weeks. Otherwise, I would try to get him to just fix this phone and not have to worry about that. But usually, if there's a problem like that with the phone, and it's not a bad deal, really. So it's a lot more storage on that phone, which will make it easier for my podcast. So there's all of that. So there was that. And then there was another synchronicity, which I'd rather not go into. So there's it could be nothing, but it could be, again, when you're in this state, you're kind of reading into everything. So, that's just the state, So I'm going to post this. I'm going to edit and post sort of every day, but, I usually do post a lot when I'm coming back because it helps. So if somebody wants to watch it, they can watch it. If not, fine. You can skim it if you like, So from Agita, about to use a little box, we get one of the babies there and the other baby there, So we've got one baby there, and we've got the other baby there. Running in. And we've got Agita here. So she just used a little box in this room. So we've got Agita here. We've got one of the babies there. And we've got the other baby here. So we're all in the master bedroom for now. So from the two babies, and from Agita, and from myself, the nuttiest previous whatever, most fucked up professor in the history of the universe. Bye for now. Day by day. We'll keep you posted. See you next podcast. Bye for now.